Hi boys and girls, and welcome to lesson 3 on our oceans topic, and today we are going to be looking at living and non-living things. So our learning intention is to sort living and non-living things. Now sort means to put into different categories, and living and non-living, well, we're going to go on to find out what that means in a wee minute. So to be successful, we can identify the features that deem an item living or non-living. We can sort items into a table under the headings of living and non-living. And finally, we can identify and research a living creature of my choice. And I know that someone, I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but they had wanted to do a topic on favourite animals. So hopefully this is a little wee chance for you to get to research some interesting animals as well. So moving on. What does living and non-living mean? Well, when we look at our beautiful world and oceans, we see many things. Our world is home to a variety of creatures, plants and things, and we can describe these items as living or non-living. Now, boys and girls, in the last lesson, we looked at lots of different living things. I wonder if you can remember any of them. We saw different animals like otters and different sharks that live in the different oceans as well. And I know that you'll have also done some research for yesterday's lesson, okay? So let's try and put that prior knowledge to use in this lesson. So, living things. The first question we should ask ourselves is, what makes a creature or thing living? And what do living things need? So here we go, we've got our thinking caps on. We're trying to activate our prior knowledge. Do we already know anything about living things? Have you ever done this as part of a topic before? So try and think about that. What do living things need? Do you know anything already about that? So if you like to, boys and girls, you can pause the video and jot some notes down, okay? Practice your note-taking skills. And we're going to be building on that knowledge throughout this PowerPoint. Now, boys and girls, because these are digital school slides, you can see that they've included some little wee QR codes, okay? So give it a go, see if you can scan that and if it will work, and hopefully it will. So looking at if something is living or non-living, how will we determine if something is living? Well, we can ask ourselves these questions. Does it need food and water? Only living things need food and water to survive. Does it move? Now, obviously animals move, but some non-living things can move as well. I'm thinking in my mind of a hoover or an iron or a pair of scissors. Okay, so we're looking at all of these questions together as a whole before we categorise things as living or non-living. Can it have babies? Only living things can have babies. Does it react to things? Okay, so obviously animals would react if something tries to attack them, or if they're come across a prey animal, they'll try and attack it. So animals definitely react, but sometimes non-living things can react as well now. So I'm thinking about some cars, they have sensors that detect when they're going to maybe go into something at the back of them or at the front of them, and so do some robots as well. So again, looking at all of this collectively before we sort the things into living and non-living. Does it get rid of waste or go to the toilet? Only living things will do that. Does it need air to survive? Only living things do. And does it grow? Only living things can grow. Although some non-living things, actually I'm thinking about sandcastles, they can grow as you build them, but only living things can independently grow without help from a human. So, yep, let's go on to the next slide. So some examples of living things. Animals, of course. Some more animals. Animals in different habitats. We've got some land mammals and animals. We've got obviously animals that live in the ocean. We were talking yesterday about the giant Pacific octopuses, and here we go, we've got trees as well. Plants, of course, are living, and the birds that live there. So non-living things, can you think of any examples of non-living things? Can you look around your house right now and see anything that's non-living? So now we know the characteristics of living things. It's basically the opposite of living for non-living things. So what makes an item non-living? Getting our thinking caps on again. So like we said, looking around your house just now for non-living things and thinking about, well, what defines that as something that's non-living? So non-living things, do not grow. They don't need food. They don't move. But again, boys and girls, it's all of these things together. They don't have babies. They don't react. Don't get rid of waste. And they do not need air. Okay, so again, we're looking at all of this together because obviously we know things like hoovers, they can move, but they're not living. Okay, but hoovers don't need food and they can't have little wee baby hoovers either. Okay, so looking at everything together collectively. So some examples of non-living things. A house. The house that you live in is not alive. It is non-living. A boat. Even though a boat moves, it's still not living, okay, because it meets those other criteria. Rocks. They're not alive. Although some things that live in rocks are. Water is not a living thing either, boys and girls, although sometimes it can feel like it is alive when we see the waves crashing down at the beach. It certainly feels alive. Scissors, you might be able to move scissors, but again, they're not alive. So, can we sort things into living and non-living categories? That was one of our success criteria. Now, boys and girls, your first task is to, in your jotter on a piece of paper, create a chart like this and to think of at least 5 things that would go in each column. Okay, so 5 things that you can think of that are living and 5 things that you can think of that are not living. Okay, so that is your first task to do in your jotter. And your second task is to use the internet and research your favourite sea creature. Now, boys and girls, you might also have a really fantastic non-fiction book about the ocean that you might want to use, and that is perfectly fine as well. It's the same research skills that you're developing. So you can use the internet or you can use a book to research your favourite sea creature. I know that someone wanted to do narwhals as their project as well. So if you want to research narwhals, on you go. I would love to find out about them. I would love to find out more about the giant Pacific octopus. Really, boys and girls, whatever you are interested in, this is your chance to have personalisation and choice and to research an animal that you want to find out more about that obviously lives in the ocean. Then, using this information, you can then create an information facts file all about your chosen animal. Now, boys and girls, again, there is a template for this on Teams that you can use, but if you would rather just use a piece of paper and you would like to fold it into a facts file, that is absolutely fine as well, and you can just use the Word document as a guide, okay? So whatever is easiest for you, boys and girls. So I hope you're excited. I hope you're looking forward to researching a sea creature to create in a facts file. Let us know if you've got any questions in the Ask Your Teacher channel. And that's it for today. Bye for now, boys and girls. Have fun with your research.